Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Today's show is A Woman's Prerogative, Part 1, and we'll have Part 2 later today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, midnight British Summer Time. Our topic is discipline and structure, or take it as it comes. Joining me is our illustrious panel of fabulous women from around the world. Let's welcome them to the program. Joining us from Kenya, it's Jenetta Barry and the Epiphany Process and World Jenny's Day. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Great to be back.
Thank you. Great to have you with us. Also joining us from London, it's Dr. Madalene Chan, founder of Star Child Universe. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hi, Jenetta. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. I love the energy. Also joining us from the United Kingdom, it's Caroline HEWARD, the Harley Street stress expert and founder of Bust Your Stress. Bust Your Stress. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Always wonderful to be here. This is like sort of my shining pot of gold at the end of a rainbow.
Oh, that's quite lovely. Thank you for sharing that. I love our topic today because I already know what the answers are. Sometimes I come up with these topics. I'm like, I don't have to do the show because I know, but our audience doesn't know the answers of what you're going to say. So let's go around and just give a little bit of information about ourselves, something that's near and dear, something that's new and that's coming up for you, whatever it is that you feel a calling to share. Let's start with Jenetta.
Oh, thank you. So in fact, it happened just before the show. I was on a call, the AI side of World Jenny's Day. And it's very clear that we're going to have AI in the middle of a safari cycle race or ride. It's not a race, a ride through Kenya. And what's going to happen is, as you get to breakfast each morning to do the cycle ride to the next lodge or the next camp, you're going to get a coaster with a QR code on it. And when you scan it, because we do have throughout Kenya, we do have, except for one night, we do have connectivity to data. And when you scan it, it'll bring a flip book up of what's going to happen that day. And as it opens up, there will be, it'll become immersive. So it will mean something pertinent to that day will suddenly pop up, a bit like Prince Leia in Star Wars in 3D. So be it a cheetah or a special tree or whatever it is, for that day. So that has just been, I've got to burn the midnight oil tonight to get all the background needed for that. And we're going to be able to launch it, this cycle ride this year, and even extensively expand it for 2024. So I'm hopping around going, oh, this is amazing.
Congratulations, Jenetta. That is amazing. I love how you're using AI and AR.
It's just so, I see with mental health, if we can be the forerunners of that and help people who relate to AI and AR with their mental health challenges, this is what it's about. That is the way of the future. Like the Industrial Revolution was a game changer. This is the new Industrial Revolution.
Well, we wish you all the best with it, and our hearts and our minds will be with you cycling. Let's go over to Caroline HEWARD. What's new and exciting with you?
Well, it's very new and exciting. On Saturday evening, I had some feedback through from the mental health nurse that's actually marking my my work for my suicide and self-harm training. And she's given me an absolutely incredibly glowing report and feedback on my third module of 4 modules for my suicide and self-harm training and my submission. So I'm very excited because I've just got one more module for them to approve, and then I will be qualified. So I'm, you know, more than ecstatic, because I wasn't sure whether I'd sent enough, and what they've actually said is that I've sent more than enough, and it just feels like I'm almost there. And it feels like there will be new opportunities to work in this area at a more extensive level with the NHS on mental health to do with suicide and self-harm.
Brilliant, Caroline. That's fantastic.
Nice job.
Well
Stress.
done. I know how much time and effort you've put into that, and that is fantastic. Thank you. Over to Dr. Chan. What's up with you?
Well, it's not about me, actually. It's about the human collective, in the way that we have now the Lion Gates portal, which began July the 28th, and it's with us to the end of August. And the most powerful day is going to be tomorrow, the 8th of the 8th. And basically, in the Lionsgate portal for this year, there's 2 full supermoons. So therefore, there's a full supermoon in Aquarius. The last time that happened was in 2018. 2023 is now it's going to happen, and the next one will be 2037. And basically what it means is that everyone starts to look at their lives. They start to get a wake-up call. With work or with people, relationships, with food relations, with their body, everyone is getting a wake-up call. And some people have got to begin the dark night of the soul, working on their fears, working on their anxieties, just starting to have self-love, self-care. So it's very powerful, because the Lion Gates portal with 2 full supermoons, it's been amplified. And the next time it's going to be amplified is 2037. So that's why everything is going absolutely purified, cleansing, and everything's all in turmoil as well. But it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So that's why I'm so happy about it.
All right. We're happy for you and for everyone else. That's great news. Thank you. Oh, great shares. I actually have something. I don't know if I shared it or not, but I'm going to be doing a couple of speaking engagements. And the one person said, do you have a book on listening? And I said, well, we have children's books. And she said, no, book for an adult. And I said, you know what? I will. So I've been working with Red, and we now have a book. I'm waiting for the cover. The book is called Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening, Solutions for Deeper Connections, Better Relationships, and More Authentic Conversations. And the book includes 2 quizzes, one at the beginning to test your listening skills, then one at the end. And it also includes testimonials from some of our elevated listeners along with their certificates. And it's forthcoming September 21st on International Listening Day.
You know, that's a New York bestseller. I just saw it. I just saw it. Flashlights, New York bestseller. I just saw it.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to do really well. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
The 21st of September is actually International Peace Day as well.
Wow, how about that? That's beautiful. Because elevated listening leads to peace.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
true.
So let's get into our topic now. Discipline and structure, or take it as it comes. And this can be applied to anything, personally, professionally. So what is the first thing that came up for you when I mentioned that title, Dr. Chan?
Vision boards. When I start a project, I always do a vision board for it. So I do a timeline as well. And every day I have a diary, and I always have to write in the diary in pen and paper, because I'm a very old-fashioned girl. Instead of doing Google Diary, which is great, yeah, but I love pen and paper because I feel my thoughts can come through and what I need to prepare for the day. And for the timeline of a project, vision boards, that's my discipline as far as structure and discipline.
So would you say you are structured and disciplined?
With work and business, yes, I would say yes. But everything else, I'm pretty much on a below average.
So I just love the honesty there, the candor. So that's okay. That's beautiful. Jenetta or Caroline, would you like to say anything to Dr. Chan about what she shared?
That's pretty real.
Well, it's so Maggie. That's why she does so well with what she does. It's because she's true to her heart. And that's why it works. And that's the big thing, is being able to have that discipline and structure, take it as it comes from your pure essence.
Thank you, Jenetta.
Thank you. Okay, let's go over to Caroline, who I know is not a take it as it comes girl. Tell us about your structure and discipline.
Well, you're right. I don't take it as it comes at all. And yes, I do. Because I create, if I want to get something done or I want to do something, then I'm very much, I feel, the master of getting that creation in place. So I visualize, and I'm not really great at writing stuff down, and because I feel that if I write it down, then I'm kind of constricting myself. So like, for instance, when I was looking for my new home, which I'm now in my mind, I pictured that it would have iron gates, that it would have a mantle, a very old feature mantelpiece and fireplace, and it would have wall lights and chandeliers, and it has all those things. And there were pictures in my mind of what I was wanting to create. And then comes the discipline of looking. So I had an idea, and I'm very visual in terms of what I'm looking for, what I want to achieve in a goal. So if I'm looking for getting an award, for instance, which I used to do a lot of award submissions many years ago, I would have the end in mind, and then in my mind, rather than in paper, I would just then start getting into action. And so I kind of think about it, I decide what I want, so I literally become source of what I want to create. And then the universe, I know this might sound a bit woolly, but whatever I'm then thinking about, because everything's in the field, comes. And so I don't restrict myself by writing stuff down. I actually embrace whatever comes at me. And when things don't work, I just say, okay, maybe it's not quite that way then. Okay, maybe it's not this. Okay, maybe I'm looking at it from quite the different angle. And so when something doesn't work, I have a practice of letting go of what isn't working. And then I sort of go in with a different pair of eyes. And yeah, I'm structured in terms of I have to do my accounts, but I don't do them till the 11th hour, but they're done and they're pristine. So I have discipline in terms of what has to be done to conform, but I'm not really a conformist and I still get stuff done. That's kind of a long-winded way of saying I'm not really a conformist, but actually I am very forthright in being action orientated towards a goal that I picture and decide on in my mind.
Wow, I love
I would
that.
say structure.
Yeah, yes. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. By the way, I just have a quick announcement, sort of an inside little comment. What we were discussing before the show, I just received an email and they've reconsidered and taken it away.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Talk about visioning.
That's
our
the energy
intention.
working.
Our intention
Wow.
behind it.
How about that? That is amazing.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
So thank you. Thank you. So for me, I'm very disciplined in structure. I mean, I have pads and pads of paper. Everything's written down. But I also take it as it comes. And what I mean by that is I used to be someone who worried a lot, obsessed a lot. And now I realize I don't have control over whatever it is that's going to happen. So instead of like yesterday when things happen, the first thing I said to myself was, well, that's pretty, you know what, but what is the solution? What solution can we come up with? And that's what I do so much more now than I ever did before. So I feel like it's take it as it comes, but I'm disciplined and structured in my approach, which is finding the best way to resolve it or the way to move forward.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
It's quite similar to me. If something's not working, there's a reason why. And what it does is it actually opens you up to look at something that perhaps you didn't look at before in the same way. It's like an opener. Rather than saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? And like fall apart, you're disciplined in saying, okay, well, what can I do about this? And, you know, and so you're being open for other solutions, which is wonderful.
And also, I was going to add to that, Caroline, as well, in the way that it stops you from nitpicking and judging other people around you in the situation. If there's other people involved and where there needs to be a solution, it almost, you work together to achieve that solution as well.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, when you think about all the people that you have in your life, you've had in your life, did you know of anyone who was more without discipline and structure and they're just extremely carefree, so to speak, only to find out that they're obsessive compulsive when they're not with everyone, but they portray like they're just floating through life and everything is grand, but that's not really how they feel. Dr. Chan, are you raising your hand on that one? You know someone?
I was like that. I was like that. I was always turning up late. I was always being spontaneous, never really asking people if they were actually free at that time, saying, okay, it's this and we're going to do this and this. Could you at least have warned us? No, just be spontaneous like me. Yeah, but we've got jobs to go to. You know, so I always was about a free spirit. Where the moment took me, I went along and I expected everyone else to be around me, to be on that same level as well. So I was irresponsible. I wasn't responsible. And I just was, I guess, I was lazy in the way that I wasn't thinking of other people. I was just thinking, well, this is how I am. So this is how I do things. So I'm sure that everybody else has the same time as me. So I didn't take that on board. And I did this until I woke up in 2012, which is quite a lot of years. Given that I'm 53 now, that's a lot.
We do have a comment from someone on Facebook, gift, nice one. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. So, Dr. Chan, I would love if you would just share with our audience, because you use that term a lot, that you have awakened. What does that mean, actually?
it means that I'm not doing any more harm to myself in the way of toxins, drinking, self-sabotaging, having thoughts of not thinking I'm worthy, and just taking care of myself and being responsible for who I am instead of being codependent on so many people throughout my life. So when you awaken to your true self, your true authenticity. And before you awaken, you have to, of course, you've got to go through and face your anxieties and your fears, things that make you uncomfortable. You've got to go to an uncomfortable place to be then come out of your comfy zone to then find out what your true zone is. So that's what I meant by awakened. I just was completely drinking, partying, hurting myself, hurting other people, being destructive pattern behaviors, finding myself being in depression, and just being continuous stuck in a groove until the point when you wake up. You start to think life's not making sense anymore. What I'm drinking, what I'm partying, these people that I'm around are no longer, I don't feel happy with them anymore. I have to be true to myself. So it's a lonely journey. And that's when you awaken, because you awaken alone. And you realize then that's when you start to go on the journey on your own. And then other people will come through later anyway. But it is a lone wolf. They say lone wolf. Yeah, it's a lonely journey. You can't take people with you on that journey, not while you're going through it. You got to wait to come through the other side, and then you meet people.
Well, we're certainly glad that we're part of your journey, Dr. Chan. So
thank you
for your openness about that. I want to go over to our resident therapist in-house, Caroline HEWARD. In order to be awakened, does one need to have some level of structure and discipline, or can they take it as it comes, or one has nothing to do with the other?
That's a really good question, and everybody's journey is different. And I call my journey, which I've been on for about 24 years now, my healing journey. And so it's very much in alignment with what Dr. Madalene Chan has just shared. And I've actually realized over the years that there's a new trendy term that's come out that's called shadow work. And it's really looking at your shadow side, all the things that you kind of push down and say, that's not me, but, you know, sort of the things that you don't like to be associated with you, but are really you. And it's just looking at all the things that don't work for you. And I've been on that journey since my dad passed away in 2000. And you know, still on that journey in terms of all the training and the therapy work that I do, because each thing that I do is all part of digging deep and going down into me. And it can be not just in therapy work, but actually in your everyday life. You know, relationships will bring up your stuff. And, you know, if you're complaining about someone or something, there's something in there that you're not comfortable with. And so your reaction is something that is yours, that you have to handle. And so I would say, is it organized? Is it, I would say it's different for each person, depending on how they approach it. Some people don't want to look at stuff and they go and drink, or they have other substance intake, or they might smoke, or eat more chocolate, or, you know, sort of dive into food. And so each of us has a different way of handling it. And some people don't handle it. Some people have strategies, and some people go through a journey of healing through therapies. Some people have counselors, some people have therapists, and some people do a lot of training like I do. And I would say that the kind of training that I've been doing over this last couple of decades is more about me coming to terms with me, and it changes my world or my external world as I resolve things in my internal world. And everyone is different.
Does it feel lonely and awkward when you're up there for a second longer than when you're finished speaking? You're wondering, where is Dr. Jacalyn bringing me back? No, that was a great explanation. Thank you. So I really think, for me, discipline and structure has been a big way that I've gotten a lot of things accomplished. And Caroline, you and I are all about the gold stars and the certificates and all that. And I feel like the way that I've been able to get those things is through discipline and structure, as opposed to more of the take it or leave it. Do we feel when there are gold stars that you're trying to get that you have to have a plan? I mean, you could, as my mother always says, if there's a magic wand, we could wait for magic wands or fairies or other things, but we actually have to have a plan, some kind of plan in place, whether it's written down or it's in our mind or it's in a vision board, to get something done. And to me, that is part of the discipline and structure, but maybe someone else feels differently.
I would agree with you. We all are different. We're all individual, and we'll have plan and discipline means different things to different people. And, you know, that plan and discipline could be very compliant for some people. And for other people, it can be, you know, that they're going through on a tangent saying, I want to do this. And then they'll put all their energy in one aspect and one project, just as Jenetta's doing. And then you decide on doing something else. And then you put all your energy and you'll focus onto that something else, which is really, you know, kind of the way that a lot of people do it. But some people will be very compliant, and they will look at all the rules and regulations and what they can and can't do. And those people are also important, you know, and we are all different in our aspects of how we get things done. There is no right or wrong. There's just what's right for the person. I'm not a compliant person, and yet, you know, I get a lot of things done. I remember one of my ex-boyfriends turning around to me and said, I couldn't live in your world. It's too like flying by the seat of your pants. And I just said, well, yeah, it is. But he was very compliant. He was a mortgage broker and accountant, and he says, no, that's not possible. You can't do that. And I says, watch me. You know, so it's like I have the vision and the goal, and I just get it, you know, within the timescale that I want it, because I drive myself towards that. But some people don't. They are working in a compliancy way, and they still get there. It's just their way.
They did it their way.
They did it their way.
I would say that every person has a different path into where it is they perceive they are or want to go or think they want to go. Some things work for some people. At one stage, I was very religiously like this in my early marriage and early motherhood, that everything had to be structured. And I'd forgotten quite a lot of my creative side, having grown up in the creative world. And I believe that was me balancing that out. But I've noticed now that I have to have the discipline and structure and take it as it comes, depending on what's happening. So since my greatest life test with Jenny, I find I look at a huge, enormous, bigger picture that's bigger than myself and is absolutely impossible. And that's the big picture. And then I bring it down into bite-sized chunks, and then start doing bit by bit, and at the same time doing the visioning and seeing it, and the creative side starts coming in as I see things in new ways, like the AI stuff. New ways of creatively getting a message over. But what's often happened when I've been doing projects that are really outside the box, I've got this vision, I see how it's going to come out, I get that place of certainty. But what often happens is that as it's going into place, the outcome is still the same. We still have that event or that happening, but the things that make it up are a little bit different to how I saw they would make it up. So they're there, but they've come together from another angle or another form. And normally it comes out that it's even better than the way I had seen it. So taking it as it comes is when we come to the crossroads of that particular part of the puzzle that I've been putting together comes, but it's not like how I saw it would come, but it's there. And an example would be, I put on a big reality theatrical show about 20 years ago with children pretending to be adults. And it was all reality theater in a theater, in a hotel. And it was supposed to be all live, going out live in inverted commas. But every night, what happened outside the hotel was different to what happened inside the hotel. And when it came to push, came to shove, we had to pre-record the outside of the hotel. And it was actually much better. So it was having that flexibility. When the outside of the hotel was screened, it actually was far more effective. So it's taking it as it comes with that discipline and structure.
I absolutely agree with you, Janetta, in every way, because it's like, even if I do my vision boards and I'll say, I want, like, for example, Star Child book, international. First of all, I said national, and I got it out in Malta. And then I put them in hearts. So I put a heart. So I'll put Star Child book, and then I put in about words of wisdom and a TV show. And this was even before I'd met you, Dr. Jacalyn. I wanted to have words of wisdom and divine love somehow in a TV show. And I thought it was going to be called Words of Wisdom and Divine Love and Words of Wisdom. But the fact is, how the turn of events happened is that, yes, it did happen, and it wasn't called that, but a TV show, which USA Global TV and Radio. And even though I put little steps like this, it's as what Jenetta was saying, you can put the little steps, you put the main mountain, and then you put the little platforms going up the mountain. But sometimes you have to take a detour, or sometimes a source brings in that element of surprise, the magic. And that's what it is. It's the magic. So it's not as how it was going to be. This is how it's going to be named and everything. But it had great significance, and even more than what I anticipated in my vision. So in the vision board. So all I'm saying is absolutely a detour. These detours, even though we think, oh no, I'm not going on the right, this is not exactly what I wanted, this is what's going on. But then you surrender and you go along with it, and it's, oh, wow, it's just fairy, it's magical. And this was 2 years before I even knew about USA Global TV and Radio.
Sounds like it's before we even existed. Since it was just last year.
I'm newborn.
Yes, it was.
Now, what about when you have to work with someone who you're in a discipline and structure mode, and they're basically take it as it comes? And, you know, that happens a lot when people are on different wavelengths, different frequencies. How do you manage that? Caroline, you had your hand up.
Well, I was actually just going to describe something that that happened for me in terms of when my brother passed away on the 10th of August, 2018. His funeral was on 9/11, and I made a decision to play my part, a bigger part, to create world peace and align myself with a peace organization and do more, help more. And essentially, I didn't know where that was going to lead to, but what that did lead me to doing was joining Universal Peace Federation. And they then asked me to do a peace meditation, which was almost an hour, which was broadcast for 2 years in 2020 21. And I was just really shocked because that wasn't what I intended. And then I had people around me that said, you have a big message, we need to have you, on TV. And so when the mission and the purpose became bigger, that was when other people came in that weren't even in my radar. And when they're saying, we want you to do this, it wasn't actually in my conversation or in my thinking. And then they give the discipline of what they require by when. And then I'm kind of left with handling what I have to handle in terms of delivering it. And then there's times when I've wanted to do something and not quite known how to do it. And then the opportunities come in because I'm thinking about it. Just today, I had spent almost 2 hours with a TV and online broadband provider. And there's been some issues with sorting out a referral fee link for my family. And I had the intention of getting it done. I went through 4 different people to explain the complications of why it was difficult and why I was making the call on behalf of my mum and my brother. And just before the show, literally 2 minutes before the show, I managed to get that referral link where they're going to have some cash for referring me. And I had a goal, I had a mission, and I was being blocked all of the way. And I just said, can we just not deal with this? Because I've got my commission. Can we just not deal with this? And rather than going through your protocols. And I'm actually very happy to say that in the fact that we were negotiating and speaking and working round all the things that came up, I was able to achieve what I needed to achieve and get that referral link. So the cash has gone to my mum and my brother. And it was because I had determination, despite the fact that they were in their silos and saying it couldn't be done. And so it is about, I feel, communication. But I did keep saying to them, look, I have to get ready. I've got a live show and I need to be ready at 4:45. And I was still on the phone call, but I had a goal in mind and achieved it.
Wow, that is really admirable. Admirable. Right to the last minute. Did the fat lady sing? Because they say, wait till the fat lady sings. So, no, I mean, did the fat lady sing?
Well, I put in a quick course and said, I've done it.
Let's all talk at the same time. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, we are coming to the end of our show, and I have to say that I feel really pretty darn amazing now. So let's go around and share a little bit of information about where people can join us and how we can bring value to them. Let's start with Dr. Chan, who's all smiles.
Thank you. You know what? I didn't think you were going to pick me first. All I can say is that if life's not making sense to you right now and you feel that there's got to be something more and you get that wake-up call, then please do contact me, because I've been on my journey for a long time, and I woke up in 2012 and I started to change my life. I became an architect for my own life, and I designed my new life, and my new life is being a creator. Co-creating with the creator, being a creative heart awakened in everything I do. And it really means that everything I do, I say, I think is about coming from your heart, coming from a place and balancing your energy and getting in contact with your creative genius, because we all have it. That's what I can help you with.
Is there anything else before I bring you back?
No.
How about your book? Your book.
Oh, my book. Oh, yeah, my book. There you go. Star Child. There. Star Child is available on Amazon. And, yeah, and it's about saving the world, the cosmic beings and the human collective, humans saving this world. And giving ancient keys of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. So it's all in this beautiful book, Star Child. Thanks, Dr. Jacalyn, for reminding me.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Let's go over to Janetta.
Well, I would like to invite any of you who would like to be a part of World Jenny's Day to come and join the amazing amount of insight and inspiration. Sometimes there's exasperation when you're creating something so big, but mostly inspiration. If this is something that you are feeling inspired about, because World Jenny's Day is about changing conversations around depression and suicide, all those conversations, and normalizing them through the use of performing arts and the arts. And it's such an exciting adventure. We're having more and more people join us, and each and every one of them has a specific talent that could make such a difference to this legacy we're building. So if you'd like to come and be a part of World Jenny's Day, please get hold of me at World Jenny's Day, WORLDJENNYSDAY at theepiphanyprocess.com. And we'd love to hear from you. You can go on World Jenny's Day website and contact me there as well, because we'd love to have you a part of that. Otherwise, please do follow us. Go on to our YouTube World Jenny's Day channel and subscribe there and follow us and be a part. We've got some such exciting things and inspiring things coming up, and we would love your love and support and to get the message out as you share it to the world as we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, who do we have left?
Bust your stress. Bust your stress.
If you, I don't know how to follow that. If you are feeling stressed, it might be that you're not feeling stressed at all and you're saying, I'm not stressed, I'm okay, but you're not sleeping, or you've got a relationship issue going on, or you're complaining about a physical ache and pain, or you're feeling sad or angry or lonely, or if you're feeling depressed or anxious about anything, reach out to me. I offer a free consultation on either Zoom, Skype, Messenger video or Messenger audio, or if you're camera shy, you can reach out to me on call, which if you're international is +44, if you're local 07523 120 189. Reach out to me on email, which is nomorestress@live.co.uk, and tell me what's wrong, what's not working for you, and let me help you literally bust your stress.
All right, everybody all together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bust your stress.
Bust your stress.
I love it with the delay across the world. It's hilarious. So thank you all for being here so much. Greatly appreciated. And thanks for bringing the positive vibes to make things happen here. And I just want to thank our official sponsor. It's Zane Carson Carruth, the founder of this new show, Elegance, Polished Demeanor, and Posh Living. Zane is an etiquette and protocol expert, and she is also a children's book author. Let's take a look at her sponsorship. We'll be right back with our next show, Planet Earth. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.